the central section of China, where the Changjiang River and Han River join, is situated Wuhan, the capital of Hubei province, a beautiful city with 7 million people and long since known as Oriental Chicago. Every day from early morning till late at night, Wuhan TV station's audience of 10 million in the city proper and its outskirts will be able to watch the TV station's programs of high clarity they cherished as soon as they turn on their TV sets.
Though only 12 years old, Wuhan TV station has already developed into a comprehensive TV station with 300 staff members and workers, 2 frequency channels that manage their own programs, and a whole set of facilities for material gathering, editing and broadcasting, making itself a star in China's trade of television. Wuhan TV station's programs of news, economy, literature and art, sports, and youth and children are all well received nationwide. But the most unique and best-known program of Wuhan TV station is its program of science and technology. Of the 900 TV stations of different sizes in China, Wuhan TV station has the earliest and strongest department of science and technology. In the whole station, the people directly engaged in making science and technological programs amount to 75, or 1/4 of the entire staff members. The station's annual expenditure on the production of science and technological programs is 15 million yuan RMB, accounting for 1/4 of its annual financial expenditures. The daily time allotted to self-run science and technological programs is 50 minutes, making up 1/4 of the total of all self-run programs. There is no other TV station in China that uses 1/4 of its comprehensive strength in the production of science and technological programs.
As early as 1986, Station Director Zhao Zhizhen published an article entitled "TV Don't Make Science Sci" in China's famous widely distributed newspaper Guangming Daily, appealing to China's TV workers to transform the current makeup of the present-day TV by increasing the content of science and technology. He proposed that a TV station should organize a contingent of high-level scientific and technological editors and journalists, and that TV should become the main force for popularizing science. And this article attracted the great attention of then Minister Ai Zhisheng of the Ministry of Broadcasting, Film and Television, who then circulated this article in all departments of the Central China Television. The Yearbook of Television China that year too had this article published in it.
China is probably the only country in the world that has more TV sets than it has telephones. Rough statistics show that 270 million TV sets are owned by all families in China. No other media can influence the manner of behavior, the habit of thinking, and the state of existence of the Chinese as strongly, as long, as extensively, and as deeply as TV. Hence, there is no doubt that TV is the most effective means of popularizing knowledge of science and improving the cultural makings of the nation. In the last 15 years, the growth of China's economy was continuously maintained at 9%. This is a miracle in the world. The broad masses of the Chinese people are quickly getting rid of poverty. But before ignorance is thoroughly shaken off, it is necessary to make even more sustained and painstaking effort. Television is duty-bound to undertake the historical task of raising the level of science and technology of the entire nation. Based on such an understanding, Wuhan TV station is putting in very great effort to disseminate knowledge of science and technology to the whole community.
Over the years, the production of science programs of Wuhan TV station have never been interrupted and have been all along warmly received by its vast audience. Speaking of the production of the science programs, it can be said that there are excellent products nearly every year.
In 1986, the popular science documentary Welcome Comet Halley's, made by this station, was broadcast first by CCTV 3 times and then by many local stations. Wuhan Evening Paper had the text of the telefilm published as a serial, and newspapers and periodicals in Beijing and elsewhere published reviews on this program, which was awarded the first prize for science and technological programs issued by CCTV. The documentary on hygiene, entitled How Tall Should We Grow?, and the documentary on animals, Rare Aquatic in the Changjiang River, were favorably received after they were broadcast by CCTV and TV stations in other places. In 1992, we invited movie star Kai Li, who were all the rage in China at the time, to host the 100-episode popular science TV cartoons, Auntie Kai Li Talks Science, which was broadcast several times by this station and CCTV during the summer vacation, and aroused warm echoes in the hearts of middle school and primary school students, as well as the large audience in China. The most influential newspapers, People's Daily, Guangming Daily, Journalism, and the English edition China Daily, as well as over 10 newspapers of other localities, published scores of reviews recognizing the significance and impact of Auntie Kai Li Talks Science. State Councillor and Director of State Science and Technological Commission Song Jian's inscription reads, "The TV serial Auntie Kai Li Talks Science has done something of a pioneer. It's hoped that the broadcasting, television, movie, journalism, the science and technological circles will closely cooperate in jointly shouldering the glorious responsibility for disseminating knowledge of science among young people and children, so that the tendency to love science, learn science, and use science will become the national tendency of China in the 21st century." After watching this serial from CCTV, a Thai friend wrote to ask for the complete set of material for use as dual material for learning science and Chinese at the same time. After Auntie Kai Li Talks Science was broadcast among Thai students, it received warm welcome. Chung Wu Li of Thailand sent an exquisite copper medal to director Zhao Zhizhen of Wuhan TV station in appreciation of the contribution made by this station to the cultural exchange between China and Thailand. World Review, sponsored by People's Daily, reported the moving scenes of Thai children watching Auntie Kai Li Talk Science. In compliance with the request of large audience, Hubei Science and Technological Press edited and published Auntie Kai Li Talk Science as a popular science series in 8 beautifully illustrated volumes. Its first amount of distribution is 30,000 copies. In order to make a large-scale documentary Chinese bridges to represent the history of development of bridge building technology, the production unit of this station drove 25,000 kilometers to all provinces on mainland China, including Tibet. collision of the comet with Jupiter in 1994, our station worked day and night making the popular science film When the Comet Hit Jupiter. The discoverers, the American astronomers Eugene Shoemaker and his wife Caroline Shoemaker, wrote an inscription for the film in person. To Wuhan TV station, it is wonderful to know that you are producing a popular science documentary program on the impact of periodic comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 on Jupiter. Astronomy unites all the people of the Earth. We send our best wishes to your audience in China. Eugene Shoemaker, Caroline Shoemaker. This documentary was widely praised after it was broadcast by CCTV and the TV stations in all major provinces and cities in China. At the 3rd Congress of IAMS, held in Loughborough, England, When the Comet Hit Jupiter was selected one of the best productions. Shortly afterwards, this documentary won the first prize at the discussion jointly sponsored by the Chinese Association of Science and Technology and Chinese General Administration of Journalism for deciding on the Scientific Bud Award, as well as the discussion organized by the Ministry of Broadcasting, Film and Television for deciding on the Government Education Award. During the collision between the comet and Jupiter, 2 hotline telephones were made available by this station with the responsibility for answering all kinds of questions asked at any time by the public. The station director himself was also on duty. In addition, the station sent a production unit to the Zijingshan Observatory in Nanjing that sent back the latest report on the collision, making the unit the principal and authoritative information source for the public to learn about the astronomical spectacle in good time. In November 1994, journalists of the station were invited to attend the World Conference on Astronomy held in Baltimore of the United States. The famous scientist Carl Sagan gladly offered his latest writings to station director Zhao Zhizhen for him to translate into Chinese. For 12 years, Wuhan TV station has run science and technological programs for several hundred hours and made several hundred popular science films, obtaining a space for science on China's TV screen.
One of the basic policies for the operation of Wuhan TV station is to maintain a strong and keen sense of justice to science and a high sense of responsibility, and struggle against pseudoscience of every description.
Once a fantastic story was published in major newspapers in China about a strange slope in Shenyang, claiming that it is easy for an automobile to climb up the slope, so easy that it can slide onto the top of the mountain at flameout. On the contrary, it is very hard for an automobile to go down the slope, and it has to continuously refuse to go forward. We immediately sent a production unit to Shenyang by air. At 20 degrees Celsius below zero, our unit exposed the fraud about the strange slope with irrefutable facts based on accurate measurement and scientific analysis, and made a documentary entitled The Strange Slope Demystified. No one that watched the documentary program broadcast by our station and CCTV did not clap and cheer. It was awarded the 2nd prize by the Chinese government as an educational program. A Chinese farmer entrepreneur, Qiu Mantun, produced Chou's rat killer containing highly toxic Flutrotex in violation of the state regulations regarding environment protection. Learning that 5 honest scientists were involved in a lawsuit for exposing this matter and lost the suit at the first trial, Wuhan TV station donated 20,000 yuan renminbi to the 5 scientists as litigation costs, while persisting in making correct report. ending with the victory of the scientists in the lawsuit, the case of Jules rat killer was selected as one of China's 10 major news items on science and technological issues for 1994. We made another documentary, The Victory of the Legal System, The Gospel for Science. In addition, we also made an unequivocal exposure and criticism of the flaws masked by pseudoscience, such as water changed to oil, a flat-bottomed shallow water vessel, and a piston larger than a steel bushing that made a great to-do for a while. It is the common understanding of all the people with the station that television should only be a castle of science, and by no means shall it be allowed to become a tribune for lies.
We have long since discovered that an important reason for the general coach treatment given by TV screen to science and technological programs has much to do with the setup of the personnel employed with a TV station. The greater part of the journalists and editors in China's TV stations are mainly graduates in liberal arts from Department of Journalism, History, Chinese, Economics, and Art. Students in these programs are neither acquainted with nor interested in science. If we count on them alone to do publicity in science and technological developments, we indeed had a difficult job to do. To thoroughly remedy such a situation, Wuhan TV station has recruited a number of talented graduates in mathematics, physics, chemistry, engineering, agriculture, and medicine from universities of science and technology that are strong both in liberal arts and science to strengthen the contingent of editors and journalists. The Department of Science and Technology has been organized that is the largest number of people with a fairly complete and rational structure of knowledge and high scientific accomplishment, and is by far the strongest in China's TV circles.
It's a glory to become a scientific work after walking out of the gate of school. But it is even more fascinating to become a TV popular science work, to span a bridge for the public to learn something about science.
Maybe a boy or girl will take the role of a scientist after watching a TV program I made. I feel very excited every time I think of this, aware that my work is of great importance.
When I graduated from my school, I thought I would only be able to watch the sky through telescope for the whole of my life. But now I'm watching the world through a video camera. However, more and more I found that there are much in common between a telescope and a video camera.
Designing a new product successfully is achievement, but making a good science TV programs for thousands of people to watch has given me a high sense of achievement.
My academic preparation in college has enabled me to better understand the work of a scientist that I deal with, leading to more common language.
Originally, I wanted to be an architect so that I could build beautiful houses. But now I am working as an architect of another kind. I use music, language, and electronic technology instead of sand and stone. For me, each science program is a building which demanded the newest and best design of mine.
I wanted to become an engineer after graduation from college. Now that I have been chosen by the TV station, I fear that the knowledge that I have learned will play a very meaningful role in making a science and a technological program.
I once taught physics in a university, but now I feel I'm standing on an even larger teaching platform. TV is actually a world's university.
Only when you have a good understanding of the principle of science will you be able to evaluate scientific topics and transform the high-voltage power into power for civil use, acceptable to the public and hence better able to see through pursued science.
Our slogan is, master thousands of elite and form a powerful contingent of our own. Many scientific workers, engineers, teachers, doctors, and popular science writers are our longtime partners and close friends. Wuhan TV station was the first in China to establish Wuhan Association of Science Education Films and TV Programs. Wuhan Association of Popular Science Writers is increasingly strengthening cooperation with Wuhan TV station in running science and technological programs. Director Zhao Zhizhen of this station is concurrently Chief Director to Wuhan Popular Science Films and TV Programs Association and Wuhan Association of Popular Science Writers.
With a view to further disseminating knowledge of science and technology and playing our role on the even broader stage, Wuhan TV station made and signed agreement with the China Education TV in May 1994 on using the frequency channel of the #1 Asian Pacific satellite to broadcast comprehensive science programs for 15 minutes beginning from 9 o'clock every day evening, which will cover the whole of China and the entire Asian Pacific area.
In order to complete this important project, Wuhan TV station has made further adjustment of its staffing, deployed its strength, and acquired more installations. It has dispatched over 30 people to Beijing as resident representatives, accommodated in 2 stories of an apartment house. 7 automobiles have been purchased, and a 160 square meter teletorium rented and equipped with a container full of camera shooting and video recording facilities. May the 8th, the first comprehensive science and technological program, Light of Science, was formally broadcast to the whole country for the first time in the TV circle of China. Light of Science has 11 sub-programs in all, namely Science Calendar, tells about important scientific activity and event of the day in history, broadcast every day, lasting 3 minutes. Science News reports in time on developments in science and technology in Beijing and other places of China, as well as the rest of the world, information about and achievements in science and technology, scientists and events, broadcast every day and lasting 10 minutes. So far, 1,500 items of scientific news and information at home and abroad have been broadcast.
各就各位，5、4、3、2、1，开始。
Focus on science. Hotspot and focal problems in the field of science and technology that are of the greatest public concern are chosen for authoritative government officials, experts, scholars, noted public figures, and personalities of various circles to make in-depth analysis, discuss, and explain in a broad background. This program is broadcast 5 times a week, each lasting 10 minutes. So far, well nigh 100 topics have been discussed, such as the problem of China's water resources, the problem of desertification, environment pollution, the strategy for the information highway, the enlightenment of the earthquake in Osaka and Kobe, the invasion of AIDS into China, science and technology and weapons during World War II, and even the tentative idea of some Americans to blow up the moon, which have all aroused great interest of our audience. Over 100 scientists have been interviewed. Invention and Creation displays inventions made at home and abroad that are closely related to the life of the public and demonstrates their mechanism and principles. The general law governing man's invention is explained and explored. Famous inventors in the world and their great contributions are described. This is broadcast every Saturday for 10 minutes. This sub-program has aroused young people's keen interest in and strong desire for making inventions and creations. The world around us. Events and phenomena around us are chosen and their scientific implications are discussed. Different everyday products with a rather high content of science and technological element are analyzed and their production and manufacturing flowchart and working principles are suggested. This sub-program is broadcast twice a week, each time lasting 10 minutes. Health Matters describes the interesting physiological and sanitation knowledge of the human body and the life phenomenon, the pathogenic principle and prevention of diseases, advanced medical facilities and techniques, as well as knowledge about correct aesthetic surgery, health care, nutrition and food and tonic taking. Broadcast twice a week, each time lasting 10 minutes. This is the sub-program that receives the largest number of phone calls and letters from the audience. Hello, scientist. Middle school students of Wuhan that have won first place in all previous contests in composition, mathematics, physics and chemistry at the provincial and municipal level formed a young reporters group to interview China's best-known scientists and reported the rich experiences, outstanding accomplishments, great personality and lofty temperament of these VIPs in the field of science and technology and their ardent expectations of the youth. This program is broadcast twice a week, each time lasting 10 minutes. So far, nearly 50 scientists have been interviewed, which is something warmly received by the scientific circles and of extremely great value as historical material for future generations. A visit to Garden of Science. A factual profile is given to each of the country's leading research institutions, key laboratories, and main science and technological projects, as well as famous universities. This program is broadcast irregularly, each time lasting 5 minutes. New books on science tells about excellent publications on science and technology published and distributed by all publishing houses in China. The vast numbers of readers will be guided to read science and technological publications through TV interviews with authors and publishers. Broadcast every Sunday for 10 minutes. Science entertainment. This is an evening party with the work of famous research institutions, institutes, laboratories, bases and projects in the country as the main objects of praise. It's broadcast once a month for 90 minutes. The first month, the sub-program is to be broadcast. Our large outdoor broadcast van drove a distance of 3,000 kilometers to the satellite launching base at Xichang. With the vast launching site as the stage and a towering launcher as the background, An evening party, Fly Out of the Earth Village, reflecting the life and struggle of aerospace scientists, astro engineers and workers, was filmed. This sub-program has already been relayed through CCTV. Gallery of Science Films. Different kinds of science documentaries purchased from video disc companies in the United States, Britain, France, Germany, Australia and Japan are broadcast daily for 50 minutes from Monday to Friday and 25 minutes on Saturdays and Sundays. Since the start of the sub-program, we have dubbed the 73-hour Beyond 2000 introduced from Australia, the 35-hour The Infinite Voyage from the United States, and the 44-hour Nature of Things from Canada. A large number of science documentaries and science fiction photoplays are being negotiated. Up to now, 150 programs of Light of Science have been broadcast. This program is well received by the public, especially the intellectual circles and the scientific community, for its serious topics, rich contents, elegance and good taste, and its consistently high quality. Scientists and engineers all regard Light of Science as their own TV station, while parents regard it as a good teacher for guiding their children to grow up healthily. Well-known Chinese scientists and noted public figures Lei Jieqiong, Wu Jieping, Lu Jiaxi, Qian Weichang, Zhu Guangya, and many other accomplished scientists in their respective fields of research gladly consented to be advisors to Light of Science and have been taking an active part in program making. Many mass media enthusiastically affirmed the successes scored by Light of Science, praising the spirit of assiduous pursuit, unremitting effort of Wuhan TV station, and the important contributions it has made to the dissemination of scientific knowledge. They hold that, as a local TV station, Wuhan TV station has done something of national significance.
Plowing and weeding in the field of science. What we have given to the community is the purest and most valuable crop. The Chinese make up a quarter of the world population. When the integral quality of the Chinese is improved, the improvement is in itself a direct contribution to the improvement of the quality of the whole mankind. It is our belief that our work will change the environment in which Chinese children are growing up. The Chinese nation will surely give mankind a Newton and an Einstein in the not too distant future.
This August, CCTV wrote Wuhan TV station expressing its hope that a 90-minute science program will be provided daily for the 7th satellite frequency channel that